Chichi,
What's up,
what's
brother?
up, bro? What's up, brother? How we doing?
We're
Here
good.
we are, week 4. We made it. We're excited about it. You ready?
Let's do it.
Let's hit it. Let's get it. You know what, bro? The other night I was sitting on the couch and I was like, whoa, whoa. Like, man, I got this thing in my head. I got the open in my head. Oh, man, it's unbelievable. Man, I'm looking forward to today, brother. We got a lot of good stuff happening. A lot of good things, a lot of good storylines, a lot of good things to go over. We got our new 90 and 90, right? And like Chich is going to quiz me. I don't know what's going on. There are 9 multiple choice topics in 90 seconds, so that'll be interesting. We got the cards, we got the bucket of balls.
Yep.
We got some other stuff too. We got a lot of action today, Chich, don't we? We're putting it.
Might be the most jam-packed show we've done so far.
I love it, man. Where are we going first, Chich? Where do you want to start this thing off with?
I'm going with a story that's exploding, and it's just kept momentum is built and built and built over the course of the season. We started with the no hitters, and now pitchers are continuing to be ahead of the hitters. This team's not. It's just resonating with all the players, and Hall of Famers are chiming in, managers are chiming in. But let me just start here with JT Realmuto. Okay, said this. I think the substance issue is real. I think pitchers are using a lot more substances now than they have in the past. That's why there's so many walks and strikeouts every game, because guys are just letting it rip with all the spin. Harder to control, but also harder to hit. I think if they fix that idea, that could help a lot. Now, give me one topic. I mean, the fact that he's a catcher right there, I'm going to get to the Mattingly sound in a second, but the fact that he's a catcher means a lot there, doesn't it?
Well, I think that's a big deal, because at the end of the day, the catchers know what's going on. And they just do. And, these guys, if you got a catcher like JT Realmuto, who's one of the best players in the game and one of the best catchers in the game defensively, when he starts chirping like that, and, now you got to start taking notice. But I think that's a real telltale sign that a catcher like Realmuto is speaking up.
Right. Now, the next one, this is something we both looked at like, whoa. And I'm just going to play this quote. It's Donnie Mattingly. He was asked about the no-hitters uptick, but then he kind of moved in this direction. Take a listen.
Strikeouts are at an all-time high, things like that. So it tells you that there are some issues within the game that need to be addressed, and they're going to take a while, because this started 15, 16 years ago with the swing changes and the philosophy changes, with all the the analytics of the 3-run homer and all that stuff. And so it's been coming, and it's been building, and now we're at a point where I think it's getting so much more attention, because it's just a game that sometimes is unwatchable. You see guys you talk to, and they don't even like watching games, because there's nothing that goes on in them.
You hear the audience was like, oh. Like,
yeah.
And you have a Reggie quote, right? You can read off of it. I don't have it in hand.
Oh yeah. Well, when you got Reggie Jackson chiming in, who obviously, right? Reggie Jackson says, I struck out more times than anyone in the history of the game, almost 2,600 times, but I did it over 20 years. That's 125 strikeouts per year. A leadoff guy today strikes out 125 times. It's not productive. The game has changed so much, and for the worse. I mean, you got Don Mattingly, you got Realmuto, you got Reggie Jackson, Dusty Baker had chimed in. There's a lot of different things happening here, Chinch. And, I think, we had recently seen an article from Ken Rosenthal. I mean, I think there's some things happening here in baseball where, you're starting to, your radar's starting to go up a little bit.
Yeah. And there was obviously Schilt came out the other day trying to defend his player for not cheating. It's starting to get to that feel where back when the steroid era was going on, and you mentioned Ken Rosenthal had the article. An anonymous player here chimed in with this, which I'll show you. it's the same thing as Sosa and McGuire bopping all those home runs. Everyone knew, at least everyone inside, knew what they were doing. And then you have guys who are like, I better do something or I won't have a job. Then you have guys who are on the fence, like, will I sell my soul for X amount of money? And a lot of them are going to say yes. The league talks about level playing field, but how level is this? All right, Case, you played in steroid era. Like, do you agree with this take? Is that steroid era and pitchers now? Is that common?
Well, you know what? Here's the deal with the steroid era, because I played in it. You know, it's not a big deal, Chinch, until records start to be being broken, right? And I think that's where people are starting to go, what's going on here? 6 no-hitters? What's going on here? We have guys striking out guys, 60 strikeouts before they're even seeing walks, and 2 guys are doing it. I think
58 and 61 strikeouts before they actually walk this season.
It should have walked, right? So and I think you were talking to too. I think when we saw Sosa and McGuire get into the 70 home run range and Maris's record had lasted so long, I think that's when they're like, oh, 2 guys are doing it in the same year, and then Bonds, hits 70 plus a couple years later. I think when records start to be getting broken, you look at the guys, like the Hank Aaron's and the Willie Mazes and all those guys, you go, oh, they're passing these guys now? Now let's, maybe something needs to be done. Well, I think that with Mike Schilt, the whole thing with the Cardinals where, Joe West went out to Gallego and took his hat, the dirty hat or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But then Schilt's press conference was the big one when he was like, okay, the problem we have here is something that we all know is an issue. That spin rates are up, and obviously that's a new stat that the analytics in the last 10 years in baseball has really started to look at guys' spin rates, the curveballs, the 4-seamers, all that stuff. And I just think like I said, Ken Rosenthal had just come out with an article about some things. So at the end of the day, now it's on the baseball's table to take a look at it and really to see what's going on. And like Shit was saying, when you start to see pitchers go into their glove, they don't go to their mouth anymore. They're allowed to go off the rubber, boom, give it a lick, get to the rosin, come back. When you see guys not going to their mouth and they're going to their glove,
yeah,
I mean, you got to start paying attention a little bit. And I think the tough thing is how do you police it? I mean, without naming names, I've played with guys before, that had, if it, clear substance on their neck, and they go to it and maybe grab a rosin, it gives a big time stick. So there's a difference between going to your mouth and getting a lick and getting the rosin, because I understand that pitchers need to control the baseball. I get that. But to have a foreign substance that allows you to spin the ball at a rate where hitters are like, are you kidding me? I mean, if I'm a hitter and I'm like, this guy's throwing 98 to 100 without anything on his body. This is just natural. You start getting a guy with a substance, and now I'm a hitter, and I'm like, man, I've never seen anything like this. You have a 98, 100 mile an hour fastball with a 12-6 hook that you can spin. That as a hitter, when I'm looking at it, my eyes tell me what? It's a heater. When I see a fastball come out, it comes out here, and it comes out high. Wham! And it comes down in the zone. When I see a good fastball, a good curveball that's coming in 12-6, as a hitter, what's the pitcher's job as a hitter? To deceive me, the deception. So when a guy comes out with a curveball with 6 spin on it initially, as a hitter, I look and I go, heater, 98 to 100. No, it's not. It's a curveball. Now, if this is really happening, it's another element of why are guys striking out at an epic rate? It's just another element. It makes sense to see guys aren't seeing the ball the way they should, because if pitchers are doing something and having a sticky substance on it that allows the spin rate to be so much more, the deception is so much greater.
Right. And don't forget, everybody at home, you're listening to a career 302 hitter who did not like striking out. We're in a different generation now. And just one note on Don Mattingly, he's allowed to say whatever he wants on this subject because never struck out more than 43 times in a season. Okay?
Wow.
588 career walks, 444 career strikeouts.
There you go.
Right? All right, so we got that. That's something Man, that's
It was a big, and Donnie Baseball was a big home run hitter. This guy was one of the best in the game. He's a Hall of Famer if he doesn't blow out his back.
right.
You know what I mean? You're talking about one of the best hitters in the game, Don Mattingly, who's a manager. He's a manager.
Yes.
He's a manager. And so when you got Mattingly, manager, Schilt, manager, Realmuto, catcher, Reggie Jackson, the ultimate strikeout king. Now we got to start paying attention. We can't just shuffle this under the rug, because everyone goes back to the steroid era. Hey, they knew what was going on. Well, maybe they did until records started being broken, and then it had to be addressed. Well, strikeouts in the games, like Donnie Baseball said, it's almost becoming unwatchable. 25% of the outs are now strikeouts. I mean, come on, man, for the good of the game. And I don't know what's going on, Chintz, but at least it needs to be looked at.
Yeah. Amen, dude. Great stuff there. All right. You mentioned Joe West was involved in something. Joe West is now in the record books. Most regular season games as an umpire when he got number 5,376 during last Tuesday's matchup between the Cards and the White Sox. You know the Cowboy. What's your take on him?
Wow. Well, it's unbelievable. When you look, he's appeared in more games than Jeter and Ozzie Smith combined. He's been a part of as many seasons as Ripken and Bartolo Colon combined.
Yeah.
And I think Joe West he's just a mainstay in baseball. He's like the Babe Ruth of umpires. Really. Joe, that's what he is. And it's funny with Joe West. It's so great because Angry Joe West, Cowboy Joe West, whatever you want to call Joe. At the end of the day, you don't stick around 40 plus years in the big leagues if you're not one of the best umpires. And I always know as a player, when you were out there, you always thought in a 3-game series, if you cross Joe West, someone's getting tossed. But you also knew, this is one thing about Joe West, you also knew he was going to control that series. He's an unbelievable umpire, right? And one thing I loved about Joe was he had a great strike zone. He was as consistent. I'd like to look at his numbers, the metrics they do on umpires. His consistency of the zone was unbelievable. You knew, it was strikes, balls. You're like, okay, Joe's calling it, down the middle. But one thing I loved about Joe is as I got a little older, I used to love a rookie would come in the league and not really know who Joe West was. And, early in the game, you could see Joe maybe call a borderline pitch a ball. And you'd see the rookie pitcher kind of give or something like that. And next thing you know, I'm like, I'd be like, it's on today. Now we're talking. This guy has no idea what he's doing. Joe's strike zone is now going into a solo cup of oh man, I'm in business. I can hone in on that one pitch because I'm going to get it because Joe's strike zone so much. I used to love when the rookie pitchers, I was like, please give Joe West a reason to shrink this zone so that I can get a couple hits tonight, That's
awesome. Yeah, congratulations to him. That's awesome. And it's cool.
That's awesome, Joe. Congrats. Yeah, congrats, Joe. One of the best in the business. Like I said, you don't stick around 40 plus years. Listen, you got to still have the results. And Joe West, for me, like I said, every big leaguer that's out there, they see Joe West out there. Whether you think he's angry, bitter, cowboy, whatever you think of Joe West, he's one of the best umpires to ever be out there between the diamond.
That's awesome. And so moving on to a manager who's really starting to, gain kind of some consideration for his longevity and how great he's done everywhere he's been. And that's Bob Melvin. A great article by Andy McCullough a couple days ago on Melvin. There were quotes from some of his current and former players and coaches talking about, one, how great he is at keeping the team calm, especially during team meetings and keeping everybody level. And also that apparently he's extremely superstitious, which we didn't know. But it got us talking. You've played for some of the most legendary managers in the last 25, 30 years. And he kind of comes, the manager really can make a difference on just the level-headedness of the 162 games, right?
Big time. Hey, you know what? This is one thing I've learned in baseball. Over 162, if you have the pitching, because if you got Bob, I love what Leland used to say. He's like, Case, he goes, I got great players. I'm a great manager. I got bad players. I'm a horse shit manager. That's what he used to say. And I'm like, that's unbelievable. And he would say, you know what? He goes, I got Bob Verlander on the bump. I'm a bad manager. I got Justin Verlander on the bump. I'm a hell of a manager, right? So let me preface by saying, if you got good starting pitching, the manager matters, because in a 162 game season, there is so many personalities in that clubhouse, right? You really do lean on that guy, lean on that manager to look at him and say, you know what? This guy knows what he's doing. He controls the clubhouse. He keeps teams calm when he has to. So the two guys that I loved were Leland and Terry Francona my last couple of years. Jack McKeon was great too when I first came in the league. But one thing I loved about Leland, it brings me back to a story. In 2006, when I was with the Tigers, we're like limping into the playoffs. We should have won the division, but like we can't close it out. We need to win one game. Minnesota's just winning every night, and we lose a 3-game series to them. We got Kansas City the last 3 games of the year. We can't win that game either. We can't beat Kansas City, who I think at the time was the worst team in baseball. Packed house at Comerica. We can't. It was unbelievable. So the last day of the year, bro, all we have to do is win. We can't get that win. We lose. We get the wild card, right? So we don't even win the division. We get the wild card. And because you get the wild card, you get the Yankees game one. You get the Yankees in the division series. And at that time, Chich, it was the big dogs. It was A-Rod, Jeter, Cano, Posada. They were loaded. They were Matsui. Yeah, they were loaded, man. They were absolutely loaded. I think every player on that Yankees team was an all-star at one point, right? And so we go to Yankee Stadium for the workout that day, and you could feel a little bit. We were kind of like, man, like what happened, and like what's up with our? We played so well. We won 96 games, 97 games. Like, how did we get to the point where we're the wild card now? Like, I can't believe we lost the division. That was the feeling. So we went into that workout game 1 at Yankee Stadium, and it was we play. We're in the dance. It's good, and we got to beat the Yankees to get where we want to go, which is the World Series. And so we're in that clubhouse, and after the workout, Leland is in there, and guys are getting ready, and you could tell he's not done. So he tells the media, "Hey guys, time to go. Everybody out. Everybody out." He's like, "Players, stay in your uniforms. We're gonna have a meeting." And I'm like, "Oh, this is pretty cool." So boom, out goes the media. Leland pulls up a desk, pulls up like a table, gets by the table. We all rally the chairs around. And like I said, morale's a little low, but you know what I mean? Leland goes into this Vince Lombardi, greatest speech I've ever heard. You talk about a calming presence, but then like bring the room down and then bam, fire them up and make you feel like you're the greatest team to ever play the game, right? So Leland goes in, he's like, "It's the greatest team I've ever managed. It's my favorite team I've ever managed, and we're going to win this thing." So right out the gates he comes out, "We're going to beat these guys. We're going to beat these guys." He goes, "Listen, we're at Yankee Stadium. We're against, the papers are all going to say this is one of the greatest teams on paper we've ever played against. And I get that. And we can respect the Yankees, but we're not going to fear anybody. We're not going to fear them, but we're going to come into Yankee Stadium and we're going to send a message right away. And we're going to beat these guys, and then we're going to go to the championship series. We're going to win that. We're going to get to the World Series, and we're going to win a world championship." It was one of the greatest speeches. Like to this, I still have the chills telling it. And there was probably a few more expletives. What would I know? I'm trying to say expletives. There you go. That were obviously in there because Leland's Leland, and he's the greatest dude going, and he was firing us up. And it was I just remember when I read that thing about Bob Melvin, I said, man, it just pops right into my head, Jim Leland, getting us together at a time where we weren't feeling too good. And boom, we lost game 1 in Yankee Stadium, but we played pretty good. We won game 2, and then we took them. Then we took the next 2 in Comerica in Detroit to win that series. Went to Oakland, swept them, and then we lost in the World Series. But still, I look back and I look at that speech from Leland, and I said, if that speech doesn't happen, because that guy's got the heartbeat of the clubhouse, we don't go all the way to the World Series. Right. No doubt.
Contextually, you're at the tail end of your career, so you probably appreciated that as much or more than anybody in the whole clubhouse.
Are you kidding me? That's a chance. That was my 9th year in the big leagues. I had never been to the postseason. I knew what this meant. I knew that if we come into the Yankees and we lose this series, like I don't know if I'll ever get back. I did get back with the Red Sox, but I didn't get back as a starter. right? So like I knew what that meant, and I knew we needed to pull out all stops to get where we wanted to go, and he changed the clubhouse like that. I mean, we were struggling to like, oh my God, we felt like we were the best team in the big leagues.
That's awesome. That's amazing. All right, time for something new. You ready? Should I roll the animation?
Oh yeah, yes.
Here is what we're doing. We're calling this 9 in 90. We have theme music for it. Goes along with the animation.
At least we got the music going, baby.
Yeah.
It makes you want to just jam.
9 topics in 90 seconds. Ready for this? I got a clock. I'm going to do it myself. This can be anything. It could be sports.
Okay.
It could be outside of sports.
Okay.
Be ready for this. You got to get through 9. It's a complete game. Your time starts now. Hit for the cycle or a 3-homer game.
3-homer game.
Okay. Ultimate Warrior or Rowdy Roddy Piper?
Roddy Piper, the hot rod. You got to go check out his A&E biography. I watched it the other night. I was up till 1 a.m. I was like, I love Roddy Piper. Go.
All right. Hardest to hit, Maddox, Glavin, or Smoltz?
Smoltz was filthy. I had trouble with him. Nasty 98 on the outside black. Nasty slider. Go.
All right. Summer or Winter Olympics?
Summer Olympics.
Oh, which one?
The relay.
Of these 4 movies, pick one. Field of Dreams, The Sandlot, The Natural, or Major League?
The Natural. Roy Hobbs.
Okay.
Should have been a farmer. Dad said, go ahead.
Twinkies or Yodels?
Twinkies.
We got 30 seconds yet. Pool, ocean, or lake?
What?
Pool, ocean, or lake?
Oh, ocean. I love riding the waves.
All right, who would win in a fight?
With this wonderful body.
We're running out of time. 20 seconds. Who would win in a fight, a bear or an alligator?
Bear.
Okay, Chandler Bing or Joey Tribbiani?
Joey Tribbiani.
You did it.
Yeah, baby. Dude, that was great. That was so good. Well, I was going to say, I was trying to get the natural quote in when they're like, when he says, my daddy should have been a farmer. My dad should have been a farmer. And Hobbs says, my daddy said I should have been a baseball player. Yes. I saw that movie with my dad in 5th grade. Greatest movie ever, Roy Hobbs.
Yeah. And you picked Joey Tribbiani?
Yeah. I just like Joey. I like his act. Hey, he's having a good time in life. I feel like I'm having a good time in life. So is he.
Friends Reunion is tonight, by the way. I'm going to date this. Oh, wait.
Oh, is it really?
Did you say Smoltz was the hardest?
Yeah, Smoltz. I mean, Glavin and Maddox were obviously nasty too, but like Smoltz was the toughest for me personally.
Right.
He was Smoltz was like fastball away, boom, slider. It was wipeout stuff, and they were all really accurate, but Smoltz just gave me a lot of troubles.
Wow. Well, I was so nervous for you. Who did you say would win, the bear or the alligator?
Bear. Because I can just see the bear. If you can see humans come up behind the alligator and they go like that and they can hold the snout, I can see the bear coming up and just going boom, 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 and just going to town on the alligator. So that bear would kill that thing.
Oh, all right. Wow, it's a successful segment other than the animation not rolling, but we'll do that.
I love it.
We're going to see that in post. We're going to do that again, right? We'll keep that one.
All right. Oh, yeah, that was great, dude. That was fun. It was fun not knowing. There's a lot of not knowing in this show, which makes it fun.
Like life. All right. So,
like life, yeah, exactly.
All right, so bucket of balls. You got a bucket of balls out there. Now we're just.
I got a bucket of balls right here.
We still got to get your picture. How about? Where did
going in?
We get one with your head on it.
Yeah, the balls. Yeah, we got to do that. It's like Jugs. He must have a contract with Jugs. Are you ready?
Yeah. What do you
got?
Go
in the bucket of balls. What is this?
God.
Oh my gosh, this is great, bro. This shouldn't be in the bucket. It really should be on my mantle. I have no idea why it's in my bucket of balls.
Yeah.
Metallica.
What?
Signed ball by all the guys. Look at that. all the guys. Look at this.
You got to hold it.
Can you see? Can you see?
Yeah, you can see it a little bit. Oh, well, look at that.
So cool. Yeah. So cool. But there's a Metallica ball in with MLB Network, and I believe it was 2000. I want to say 2017, 2018. They had Metallica Day in San Francisco, which is so cool. And they were like, "Hey, could you go out and cover Metallica Day?" I was like, "What time's my flight? What time do I need to be there? Do I need to sleep over? Do I?" I was like, "I'll be there right now, right? I'll run there if I, cover Metallica Day." So I got to cover Metallica. James Hetfield, all those guys. They were so Lars. They were like the nicest dudes. I'm like, "You guys are Metallica? Like, when you guys are going exit late tonight, I'm like, you seem a little harder." They're like, "Hey man, nice to meet you. Really cool. Yeah, big. We're big. We're big baseball. And tell you the truth, chicks, that day when they did the national anthem, I end up bidding on the guitar that they played the anthem with. Boom, I got it. I don't have it here.
No way.
Yeah, I don't have it here. I do have it somewhere, but I'll have to get it next show. I'll get it. But I have that guitar.
Like in a garage or a closet? Like that should be a mantle behind you with those pictures.
I know it's ridiculous. I'll get it soon. But I have the guitar. They played the national anthem, which was really cool. But really awesome day, dude. Metallica. Thank you guys, Metallica. If you ever watch this show, which you probably won't, but if you do, thanks for signing this ball for me. I'm gonna get it out of the bucket of balls and onto my mantle.
Beautiful.
Okay?
Beautiful.
Why don't we do that? We'll do that right now.
Yeah, do it now.
Right here. Here we go.
Very good idea.
Right there. Right next to Roberto Clemente, Mazeroski, all those guys.
Yeah, and your Emmy
Now
Awards.
it's up. Yeah.
Don't hate on the Emmy Awards in the background. I'm gonna put mine back.
Love it.
Okay, so we're moving along. We're going back and forth. Now we got another first here. Oh, what? You got another ball? No.
No. I don't have no ball. I was looking at my cards.
Oh, you were on No Filter last night, talking to Wayne. Who else? You're talking to those guys, and they.
Oh yeah. I was talking. Yeah. I was talking to Powell, Wynn, and Big Ben on the
and you guys
WST podcast. Yeah.
There you go. And you guys were going back and forth, and they were kind of asking you about first, and we were sitting there going, "Man, you had so many. There's so many firsts in anything you do, but you were in the big leagues. The first in the big leagues." And you're like, maybe a week we can kind of talk about things like this. And last night, what did we start with? You folks are for a treat right now, a big treat. Your first major purchase in a big league, an automobile. Go.
Yeah, my first major purchase in pro ball when I signed with the Cleveland Indians, I bought myself, and my sister, because I'm a good brother. I bought my sister Beth. I bought 2 Honda Accords. EX with the freaking sunroof. Dude, I'd never had a car in my life. I'm like, I am the richest human being alive with this 95 2-door Honda Accord. Honestly, Chich, I wasn't a big car guy, but I was like, man, it was a stick shift too. Stick shift. I was like, oh yeah. I saved a couple bucks on the stick shift, which is great. But anyway, I was like, dude, I am legit. Like, I was legit as it comes. I got my sister one, too. She had it for years. My sister Beth, I drove for 20 years. So, dude, I had this 95 Honda Accord. I'm just ripping. And I went back to college, too. So, like, I'd have it at college, when I went back from my senior year, then a couple years later. And it was the best car ever. Now, I didn't take the best care of it because, like I said, I'm 22 years old, 21, 22. And so this one time, I always joke around. I was in Kinston, North Carolina, high A ball, and my buddy, one of my best friends, John Cunningham, was at University of Richmond. I said, Cunningham, why don't you come down to Kinston and bring down, I'll leave the car, you bring down my car, and then we'll hang out, blah, blah, blah. I said, yeah, no problem. So he comes down. I'd lent him the car for a few days. I can't remember why, but John Cunningham in my car. And he shows up with a huge dent in the front. And I'm like, Cunningham, where'd this dent come from? He's like, I don't know. He gave me the I don't know. I'm like, you have to know because I didn't put it there, right? So to this day, my buddy John Cunningham still denies that dent in the car. So no big deal. Boom, there's a dent in the front of the car. I'm like, I'm not getting it fixed because it's all good. I don't want to spend the money because that's why I got the stick shift to save some money. I'm not putting the stick shift money back into the dent. So a couple other dents, there's a couple scratches on it. It's been beat up for a couple years. Boom, I get traded to the Reds, right? Play my first year there. So my first big league spring training was with the Reds in 1999. I roll up. I'm fired up. I just had a nice rookie year. You know, I'm the first baseman. I'm the big prospect coming in. I roll into spring training. Boom, here I come. I roll up, and I'm looking at the lot. I can see the lot. Bam, there goes Barry Larkin in his Hummer. Boom, here comes, Greg Vaughn in his Mercedes. They're just rolling it. Pete Harnish in his freaking Audi, and I come rolling in. I'm like, oh, yeah, baby, here comes the two-door Honda Accord, couple dents in the front, no big deal, ripping with the stick shift. I come in, freaking security stops me. They're like, whoa, 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 where are you going? I'm like, they're like, this is players only. This is the players lot, players only. I'm like, I know. I'm the first baseman for the Reds. They're like, no, not with this car, you're not. What's going on here? Just back it up. They're like, Jim. So I got one guy to my right, one guy to the back. Like, back this guy out of here. Like, because someone was behind me trying to get in. I think one of the pitchers, Denny Nagel, was coming in behind me in his freaking Cadillac. And they're trying to back me out of the lot. They're like, back him out, get him out. Like, I swear to God, sir, I am the first baseman for the Cincinnati Reds. You can't judge a book by its cover. I know I have a 95 Honda Accord with 6 dents in the front and a freaking key mark on the side, but I am the first baseman for the Reds. I swear. They're like, pull to the side, sir. Please back it up and pull to the side. So I back it up, pull to the side. Here comes Nagel. He's like, what's up, Case? I'm like, hey, what's going on? I go, he knows me. He knows me, right? So I wait out there. They have to go in and get the traveling secretary, Gary Wayoff, to come out and vouch for me and say, no, he really is the first baseman for the Cincinnati Reds. And they're like, well, what are you doing with this car? And I'm like, this is the greatest car ever. I got it when I was drafted. It's 95 Honda Accord. So anyway, I had that car for they finally let me in the lot, and it was the big joke for spring training that year. But I had that car until I went to arbitration 3 years later, and I bought a Lexus, which I ended up having for 12 years, Lexus LX470. But I still miss that Accord. To this day, I wish I still had it. And I know what happened to it, though. I gave it to a friend, and she was driving it one time, and a deer, this is how it went down. A deer jumped the median, bam, through the windshield, totaled the car, 95 Honda Accord, she gone. That was the end of it. That was the end of the Accord.
That's an unbelievable story. What'd you get next? What was your next
I got a Lexus LX470. I had it for 12 years. I got another story. Can you want to hear another unbelievable? Okay, we brought up. This is totally off the cuff, but it's another story. It's unbelievable. So the LX470, you talk about the Honda Accord, boom, it takes a shot. So a few years ago, it was like, not a few years ago, it was like probably 2012. I've had this car since arbitration to 2012. I had it for 12 years, right? Never got another car, nothing. So back in the day, my driveway at my house in Pittsburgh just is straight down, and the ice settles so fast, right? It's terrible. You're like, oh man, what a pain. So the one time I go out there, Chish, and I'm like, I come out with like a pickaxe. I'm like, boom, like to get the ice off, like just to get the car out. I'm like, boom, right? So I don't think much of it. I did that a couple times that winter. Well, when the winter went away, I looked and I go, wow, this driveway is ruined. I was putting dents in the cement driveway, right, in the concrete. So the next year we had to get a new driveway, right? And so I go, listen, I'm going for it. I'm going for the freaking. I'm going for the new the heated driveway. I'm going to pay the money. It's like you can't justify the cost, but you can justify the convenience in Pittsburgh when you have a driveway like this. You're like, okay. So we had just spent some money on the house. We had a new. So that's why I said to do it, because we were putting this addition onto the house in the front. This new stone bridge walkway is beautiful, and then another porch in the back. So I'm like, well, we might as well do the driveway if they're tearing up the house. Let's do the driveway. And I'm like, let's do the heated driveway. Load that bad boy up. Now it was a lot of money, right? It doubled the cost of the cement, right? So I'm like, okay. And my wife at the time was like, she's like, we're not doing that. I'm like, yeah, we are. We're doing it. Because the factor was, I called my dad. I was like, Dad, what should I do? He's like, how long are those kids going to be there? I said, well, my sons are going to be in college in 10 years. He's like, do the driveway. I was like, we're doing it. So I convinced my wife to do it, all this stuff. Boom. So it's a ton of money. And like I said, you can't justify it. So one day, Chich, I go out, bro. It's like, it's November. It's probably 47 degrees out. I get the kids. We go bowling one day. It's like a Wednesday afternoon. Like, kids, we're going bowling. Here we go. And it's like light rain, right? So we go bowling. I bowl like a 110. I think my kids beat me. I was terrible. A couple gutter balls. Boom. We come back from bowling. I got my sister-in-law in the front seat, Jenny, and I got my son Jake in the back, Andrew, and I believe Carly in the back seat. My daughter. They're little at the time. Boom, I come rolling in, kids, this is awesome. Boom, I hit my driveway. I'm like Sid Crosby on freaking skates, bro. My car goes flying off my driveway into my neighbor's fence. And all I could hear was I blow the fence up, and all I could hear was the soundtrack of the Dukes of Hazzard. Just the good old boys, bow, 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 never meaning no harm. Fence pieces are flying everywhere. I'm like, oh my God. So I'm in my neighbor's yard, just blew up the fence. I get back onto, I'm like, oh my God, I gotta get back on the driveway. That was probably the dumbest thing I could have done. I get back onto the driveway. Well, in the heated driveways, bro, I don't know if you know this, they insulate it. So the temperature drops more than it is outside, right? So and here's the one part of the story I forgot to tell you. When I was getting the driveway, I was trying to save money on the gas bill. What an idiot. Because the driveway was so much money. Why am I trying to save money on the gas bill? So the guy that put it in said, hey man, don't get the sensor so when the snow hits, it turns on. Just go to your freaking phone, see when it's going to snow, and turn it on yourself. Oh yeah. So I had no sensor. So what happened was, because it was insulated, it's 47 degrees outside, but the driveway is ice because it's cooler, right? So I hit it, it's all ice. I get back on the driveway, Chinch. I'm now going down the hill like Eddie the Eagle in a freaking the Olympics. I'm like, oh my God, I can't stop. And guess where I'm going? Right for the new edition Stone Bridge. I'm like, oh my God, I'm going for the new edition. So I can't stop. The kids are like, what are you doing, Dad? I'm like, boy, I'm like, lock it up, kids. Freaking buckle up. Is everyone strapped in? Freaking, I hit the brakes like an idiot, which you never do in Pittsburgh because it was the last ditch ever. Hit the brakes, the car turns, bam, right into the freaking new Stone Bridge. I watch it. It wobbles, boom, it falls down. $10,000 of damage to that. My LX470 is like this. The hood, it starts smoking. Everyone in the car starts crying, and the kids are like, "Why'd you do that, Dad? Why'd you do that?" I'm like, "Yeah, kids, I was looking to wreck into the new edition, right?" And the piano teacher happened to be there, so my wife comes out and she goes like this, like, and the piano teacher goes like this, and I'm like, "What? You thought I was going to wreck into the house?" So that is how the LX470 was no longer. I had to get rid of it because I wrecked into the house because of the driveway I bought. It's unbelievable story, dude.
You have like Clark Griswold stories. Like,
it's unbelievable. Dude, it's unbelievable. This stuff actually happens to me. It's unbelievable. I can't believe it. It's unbelievable.
Something break over there? Everything okay in the corner? What's going on over there?
Oh, no, everything's good. My daughter just got home from school. I think she's grabbing a snack or something. You know?
Oh, okay.
She's like, Dad, what's there to eat? I'm like, I don't know. I'm telling stories about running into houses.
All right. I don't even know how we can top that, but we haven't even gotten to the piece de resistance.
Oh, my gosh.
Baseball card packs.
The baseball card packs. Oh, my God. I can't believe it, dude. We've had so many good stories. Maybe this. All right. I'm going to go to the 91 score today. Okay. I got Donruss, Leaf, 91 score. Let's see what's in there, bro. I don't know what's in here.
Let's see them here. This time, let's do them one. Let's see them one by one, and then pick your story at the end.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Nervous? Always nervous.
I really am nervous. Eric Hansen. You remember him?
Yes, I do.
Bill Wegman. Tom Candiotti. Legit. Candiotti. Dennis Eckersley, one of the best in the business ever to play the game. Frankie V. Dream Team card, too. Look at that card. It's a beauty.
I love the Dream Team cards.
Yeah. Mike McFarland. Great catcher. Rob Ducey. The deuce is loose. Doug Jennings. Grinder. Gamer.
Wow. I guess you don't have a story yet.
Walt Terrell. No, I know. I'm getting nervous. Oh. Doc Gooden.
Okay.
Oh. Randy Johnson. I have a story in the pack. I know where. I think I know where I'm going. I'm gonna line up the stories I have right now.
Okay.
Okay. Melito Perez.
Yeah.
Tom Lampkin, rookie prospect. Chet Lemon, Tigers, one of the best. Oh, Eric Show. Was it Eric Show? He was on. Yeah, wasn't he on the Canseco rookie card? It was him and
I think
Canseco
you're right.
back in the day. Yes.
Yeah. Imagine that. My baseball coach was $100.
Casey Candell.
Nice. You know him? All right. What do you got?
I can't believe that's the last card because I was nervous about a story. I had the Randy Johnson. I had the Doc Gooden.
Okay.
And I think I can tell this story. I gotta
do it.
I gotta clean it up a little bit.
Okay.
But Casey Candell is one of the biggest characters in the game, one of the funniest guys ever, right? And I got called up to Buffalo, right? And he was scuffling one time, and he had a trick he always used to do throughout his career that I heard about later. But Candell's in the batting cage, spikes high, birthday suit on, right? Yeah, in the cages.
What time of day is this? This is
what?
You're trying not to say this in front of your daughter right now?
I don't know if I can tell this.
Do it.
Anyway.
Just bleep it.
So Candell would put peanut butter in between his thighs. And the gist would be that if he was lunging at the ball, he knew that he was lunging because he would get peanut butter.
Stop.
You know? Yeah.
Wait, seriously? Like this was seriously a thing he did?
Well, like I said, he was the funniest guy in the clubhouse, and he was always keeping it light, always so funny. And so when you see Candell in the batting cage, you're like, oh, he must be working on lunging right now. He's gonna see if he's lunging. If the family jewels hit the peanut butter, he's lunging. I can't believe Casey Candell is in this pack, and that's the story that popped into my head.
Sometimes I don't have to be long and drawn out.
There it is.
It's there.
There it is.
Oh my God!
And I think he got 3 hits that night because he stopped lunging. He started staying back on the ball.
I feel like you could take. I'm not even gonna go. I don't even know. Oh my God! All right, Case, we did it again, man. We added two new segments, right? We did the we like 9 and 90.
Love it. Love 9 and 90.
We definitely like first. Yeah. That got three generations of showing Casey's cars we got through with that first.
Yeah, well, I can't believe it, too. I can't believe it. Just start. If you rattle my brain, there's stories in there like, oh, let's say about this one.
Oh, Casey Candell. I hope he's watching. I'm going to send a clip. All right, man. I think we get it.
All right, Chichi. Awesome, man. Awesome. That's four in a row. That's called a winning streak, bro.
Yes, we got a whole month. We can put this on our taxes or something now.
Well, I just want to say to everyone out there that's listening, that tuned in live, we appreciate you guys coming on. I hope you guys enjoyed our takes on some of the things that's going on in baseball, and also some stories that I've had a good laugh at some of the things that have happened in my life, and hopefully you guys had a good laugh. And keep joining us. And I just want to say, be grateful for the day, and I know we are, Chichi. I'm grateful for you, man. Glad we're doing this together. I will see you next week, my man.
See you next week.
My brother. Cheers.